Welcome back to Bookish Dives. It is fantastic to be back behind the mic with you.
It's great to be back.
We've got a few of these under our belt now, and I have to say, the messages we're getting from all of you are just... they're incredible.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
It really seems like this format is hitting the spot for people who, want the knowledge without all the fluff.
I love the challenge, honestly.
And
taking these massive books and just trying to find the signal in all the noise. And today's book is... well, it might be the most signal-heavy one we've done.
Oh, absolutely.
Huh.
But I have to be real with you and with everyone listening.
Uh-oh.
When I first saw the title of this book, I almost threw it across the room. We're talking about The Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco.
I know. It sounds like the title of a spam email you'd get at 3 in the morning.
Right. Sounds like a late-night infomercial.
Yeah.
Buy my course and learn how to flip houses from a beach. It just screams, get rich quick scam.
It really does.
But here's the twist, and this is why I pushed for us to cover it. This book is actually a mathematically driven takedown of the entire standard American dream.
That's the perfect way to frame it.
It's not about selling you a dream. It's about waking you up from a nightmare you didn't even know you were in.
And he's not polite about it. DeMarco calls himself the anti-guru. He's aggressive, he's kind of rude, and he just attacks what he calls the get-rich-slow philosophy.
Right. The whole go to school, get a safe job.
Exactly. Save 10% of your paycheck, invest in your 401k, and then, pray you don't die before you turn 65.
Which is the script we've all been handed since we were kids. But before we get into the math, and we are definitely going to get into the numbers, we have to talk about the origin story. He calls it the Lamborghini prophecy.
Oh, it's such a great story. It really sets the stage for his whole way of thinking.
So picture this. DeMarco's a teenager in Chicago.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty hopeless, working these dead-end jobs. And one day, he sees a Lamborghini Countach. Now, when you see a car like that, a car that costs more than a house, you assume the driver is some old guy with gray hair.
Of course. You assume it took him 50 years of grinding to earn that car.
But the door opens, and out steps this young guy. Maybe 25 years old.
Wow.
DeMarco is just stunned. He works up the courage, walks over, and asks the question we're all thinking. How can you afford this? He's expecting the guy to say he's a pro athlete, or he won the lottery.
Or an heir to a fortune. Those are really the only narratives we have for young wealth, aren't they? Luck or fame.
Exactly. But the guy just looks at him and says, I'm an inventor, and then he drives off.
That's it?
That's it. That one little interaction completely destroyed DeMarco's belief that wealth required 50 years of saving. It proved you could be young and wealthy if you built something.
And that's really the mission for us today. DeMarco lays out 3 financial roadmaps: the Sidewalk, the Slowlane, and the Fastlane. We need to unpack the math behind retiring young and wealthy, not old and mediocre.
Okay, let's start at the bottom. The Sidewalk. Now, when I was reading this part, I have to admit, I felt a little personally attacked.
You and me both.
Because the Sidewalk isn't just about being poor, is it?
No, and that's the huge misconception. The Sidewalk is a mindset. The formula for a Sidewalker is wealth equals income plus debt. They live for today, no financial plan. They are, as he puts it, one something from broke, one layoff, one medical bill, one bad month, and it's all over.
But here's the really scary part. You can be income rich and still be a sidewalker. We see this all the time.
Precisely. Think about the rapper or the pro athlete making $5 million a year but going bankrupt 2 years after they start working.
Because if you earn $5 million but you spend $5 million,
right,
or $6 million to maintain an image,
you're on the sidewalk. You're just on a much faster, more expensive treadmill.
That connects right back to the Lamborghini story.
Yeah.
He talks about the income-rich sidewalker who might actually have the Lambo, but they dread the gas bill. They look rich, but they have zero freedom.
Zero? There's no asset value being built. It's just consumption.
Okay, so the sidewalk is a disaster. Let's avoid that. But let's talk about where most of us probably are. The slow lane.
The responsible path.
This is what my parents told me to do. Go to school, get good grades, climb the corporate ladder, save 10%, clip coupons.
So why does DeMarco hate this path so much?
He calls it wealth in a wheelchair.
Oof, that's harsh.
It is harsh, but think about the promise of the slow lane. The promise is sacrifice your life now so you can be rich when you're 65 or 70.
Right. When you finally have the money to go to Italy, you need a hip replacement and you can't climb the stairs.
Exactly. But the problem isn't just the age, it's the math. And this is where we have to get a little technical, because if you understand this equation, you understand the whole book.
Okay.
The slow lane runs on what he calls uncontrollable limited leverage, ULL.
Uncontrollable limited leverage. Okay, break that down for us.
So in the slow lane, your wealth equation is basically wealth equals your job plus your market investments.
Yeah. Okay, but let's look at the job variable. In a job, what are you trading for money?
Your time.
Right, and what's the one resource you absolutely cannot make more of?
Time. There are only 24 hours in a day. I can't work 25.
Correct. You can't scale time. So your income has a hard mathematical ceiling. It's limited.
Okay, I get the limited part. What about uncontrollable?
That's your investments. You're relying on the stock market to give you, say, 8% returns for 40 years straight. You have zero control over the market. You're crossing your fingers and hoping the economy doesn't crash the year you plan to retire.
So it's the hope strategy. I'm hoping my boss gives me a raise, and I'm hoping the S&P 500 goes up.
And you're paying a huge price for that hope. He calls it the 5-for-2 trade.
It's a 5 for 2.
You trade 5 days of work, your Monday through Friday, for 2 days of freedom, the weekend. That is a negative 60% return on your life every single week.
Wow. When you put it like that, it sounds like a complete scam.
It's a trap.
So, if the sidewalk is poverty and the slow lane is a trap, we have to talk about the fast lane. And I want to pause here because DeMarco makes a huge distinction.
The crucial one.
He says fast lane means get rich quick, but it does not mean get rich easy.
Yes. Get rich easy is a fairy tale. That's the lottery ticket, the scammy infomercial. Get rich quick is just about compressing time.
Doing in, say, 5 to 10 years what the slow laner does in 50.
But those 5 to 10 years are going to be absolutely grueling, nonstop work.
So what's the math that makes it possible? How do you break the time barrier?
You move from uncontrollable limited leverage to controllable unlimited leverage. The equation changes completely. Now, wealth equals net profit plus asset value.
Okay, net profit plus asset value. Let's run an example here because I want this to really click for everyone.
Okay, let's take a Slowlaner. Earns $100,000 a year. He's a good saver, so he puts away $10,000 a year, invests it at 8%. In about 40 years, with compound interest, he might have maybe $2.5 million.
Sounds okay, except he's old, and inflation has probably chewed up half of that value.
Exactly. Now let's look at a Fastlane. Let's say she builds a business, maybe a software company. She works like a maniac for 4 or 5 years. Eventually, that business is generating $400,000 in net profit a year.
Okay, so she's making 4 times what the slow laner makes. That's great, but it's not life-changing money yet.
But here's the magic trick. In the fast lane, you aren't just earning income, you're building an asset. And businesses are sold based on a multiple of their profit. Let's say in her industry, the multiple is 6x.
So she decides to sell the company.
She sells it for 6 times her annual profit. 400,000 times 6 is $2.4 million.
Oh.
In one single day, the day she signs the papers, she makes what it took the slow laner 40 years to save.
That's the liquidation event.
That is the event, and that is how you break the math of time. In the slow lane, you're selling the fruit from your tree, your labor. In the fast lane, you sell the whole tree.
That hits hard. You earn 40 years of your life back in a single transaction. But to do that, you have to actually build the tree.
Right. You can't just be a consumer anymore. DeMarco says you have to switch teams. Most of us spend our whole lives on team consumer.
We buy the shoes, we watch the movies, we eat the pizza.
To get to the fast lane, you have to join team producer. You have to be the one selling the shoes, producing the movie, making the pizza.
It's a total mindset shift. Like a consumer sees a long line at a store and thinks, ugh, this is so annoying.
But a producer sees that same line and thinks, wow, there's a huge demand here. How could I make this faster? How can I solve this problem for a profit?
Okay, so this brings us to the how. Because
Sure.
I know people are listening thinking, okay, I get it, I want to build a business. But what kind? DeMarco says most people start the wrong kind. They open a lemonade stand and think they're in the fast lane.
And a lemonade stand is just a job you created for yourself. So to make sure you're actually building a fast lane vehicle, he gives us the NECST framework, NECST.
This is the checklist. If your idea violates any of these, you're probably just building yourself another job. Let's go through them. First is N, for need.
And this is the one where I see the most pushback. We're all told, do what you love or follow your passion.
Yeah, DeMarco says that's terrible advice. That feels almost blasphemous. I mean, shouldn't we enjoy what we do?
It's a fair question, but his argument is that do what you love is fundamentally selfish. The market doesn't care about your passion. It doesn't care if you love knitting underwater baskets.
Right.
It cares about what it needs. It cares about its own problems.
So if there's no market for my underwater baskets, I'm going to go broke, no matter how much I love knitting them.
Exactly. He says, chase the need, not the passion. Solve a real problem, make your millions, and then use that money and freedom to do whatever you love.
Okay, that makes sense. His rule is help 1 million people. Money follows value. Okay, next up, E for entry.
The commandment of entry.
Right.
This says that as barriers to entry fall, competition just explodes. If you can start a business in 5 minutes by filling out a form,
Or joining some multi-level marketing thing.
or signing up to be an Uber driver, you violated the commandment of entry. Because it's easy for you, it's easy for everyone.
And if everyone is doing it, the road is jammed. There's no profit left.
You want a business that's hard to start, you want a moat. If you look at an opportunity and think, wow, that looks really complicated, that's actually a good sign. The difficulty is what keeps the competition out.
Okay, C for control. This one really hit me, especially with the whole creator economy today.
Oh, it's huge. The commandment of control says you have to be driving the car. If you build your entire business on someone else's platform like YouTube or Instagram or Amazon, you are a hitchhiker. You're just a passenger.
I have friends who build huge businesses on Facebook, and Facebook changed the algorithm one day, and their revenue just, poof, gone overnight.
They were hitchhikers. The driver of Facebook decided to change the route, and they got kicked out of the car. To be in the fast lane, you have to own your system. Own your customer list, own your brand.
Don't build your castle on rented land. Got it.
Yeah.
Next, S for scale.
This goes right back to the math. The law of affection. To make millions, you have to impact millions. A local coffee shop violates scale.
Because you can only serve people within like a 5-mile radius. There's a speed limit on your income.
But if you sell software, the world is your customer. You can replicate it infinitely for almost zero cost. That's scale. You need either magnitude or reach.
And finally, T for time.
This is the ultimate goal. The commandment of time just asks, if you stop working, does the money stop coming in?
If you're a high-paid lawyer and you take a month off,
Your income drops to zero. You have a job, not a business. You want the money tree. You need to build systems that work while you sleep. Software, rentals, content, automated e-commerce. You have to detach your time from your income.
so that's NECST. Need, entry, control, scale, time. If your idea hits all 5, you got a fast lane vehicle. But, and this is the last big piece, a fast car doesn't move itself.
You have to drive it. Execution. DeMarco is savage about this. He says we live in a culture that worships ideas. I have $1 million idea.
No, you don't. You have an idea. It's worth nothing.
He has this line that just, it's gross, but it sticks.
I think I know the one.
He says, an idea is neurological flatulence. Execution makes it smell like a rose.
There it is. It's so true, though. Execution is king. Facebook wasn't the first social network. Google wasn't the first search engine.
They just executed better than everyone else.
And he also talks about focus, using this monogamy versus polygamy analogy.
Yeah, I love that. He says when you're building, you have to be monogamous. Married to one business, give it 100% of your focus. Don't chase 5 different side hustles.
Because you end up with 5 half-finished bridges that go nowhere.
Exactly. But once you've made the money, then you can be polygamous with your investments. Stocks, real estate, crypto, whatever. You create the wealth through intense focus.
Okay, let's bring this all home. We've covered a ton. The sidewalk is poverty, income plus debt. The slow lane is mediocrity, trading your time and hoping the market saves you.
And the fast lane is wealth, building a scalable asset with controllable, unlimited leverage.
It really is just about rewriting the math of your life.
And I want to leave our listeners with the thought he has about retirement. We treat retirement like it's a biological stage, like puberty or going gray. You turn 65, you get a gold watch, you retire.
But it shouldn't be about your age at all.
No, retirement is a financial number. That's it. If your number is $3 million and you hit that number at age 27, you are retired. You're free. Why would you wait 40 years to get there if you can change the equation and do it in 5 or 10?
That is the provocative thought for the day. Look at your current path. Does the math actually work? Or are you just hoping?
Stop hitchhiking. Start driving.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up this bookish dive. If this episode sparks something in you, maybe a little panic, maybe a little excitement, make sure you hit that follow button.
We've got some great ones coming up.
We really do. We have some deep cuts planned that are going to challenge how you think about productivity, happiness.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to miss them.
Thanks for listening. Go check your math.
See you in the next one.